I'm so scared right now. What the heck is that noise? We're in for a treat on this tour. Most people think Tikal was the undisputed king of the Maya world. They're wrong. Deep in the Chiquibul forest of Belize lies a ghost city that once covered 200 square kilometers, twice the size of modern-day Belize City. And it didn't just compete with Tikal, it conquered it. This is Caracol, home to the tallest man structure in Belize, a 2025 royal tomb discovery that is currently rewriting the history books.
We started this trench and we keep going back to this group and trying to figure things out. Everything is additive, and it was gratifying to know that we could literally target one specific area and you had a 50-50 chance of finding something, and that it was exactly what we were looking for in terms of the research design.
And a road so brutal, it requires a military escort just to reach the gates. At least, that's what every travel blogger wants you to believe. We're blowing the doors off of this highly accessible ancient Mayan ruin. Today, we're gonna give you our tourist-friendly DIY day trip to Caracol, including the most recent tactile roadmap, plus the essential reset at Frio Caves and Rio on pools. By the end of this video, you'll know why the Maya built a superpower in the middle of nowhere and exactly what you need to bring to survive it. Stick around. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Anton, a power engineer, industrial mechanic, and a Red Seal electrician. We cover all kinds of products and topics in an approachable way for the average everyday person. I'm glad you found us. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Getting to Caracol used to be a lesson in patience and suspension. From San Ignacio, it's about 80 kilometers. You're moving from the limestone lowlands into the mountain pine ridge, a granite massive that's over 300 million years old. With the paving project totally complete, any travel blog that says you need a good 4x4 and a lot of patience is dead wrong. You can easily go 50 kilometers an hour or more on beautiful pavement all the way to the front gates of the ruins. There's no more potholes, no more flat tires, no more military convoy. Access is a breeze. Now, quick tip here, you still do want to try to time your arrival to be at the gate for about 8 a.m. The tours tend to arrive at around 9:30, 10 a.m. And because that road is more accessible now, they're actually arriving a little bit earlier than usual. For us, we came from San Antonio and it only took about an hour from San Antonio. So if you're coming from San Ignacio, it's probably about an hour and a half drive. It's not going to be 2.5, 3 hours like a lot of the blogs used to say. They're probably going to update once they find out from Gears and Tech that it's so much easier now. Now, you are going to pass at least one security checkpoint along the way. You should be prepared to have your passport or a picture of your passport to prove who you are. In our case, he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the ruins." And he said, "Yeah, off you go." That was about as hard as it got. But if you get a guy who's a little bit more interested in who you are, what you're all about, or if you're kind of a sketchy looking person, they might dig a little deeper, so be prepared to prove that you're doing what you say you're doing. Now, because you're heading into a high canopy forest, you're gonna need a few things. Start off with some bug spray that has as much DEET as you can find. At least 1 liter of water for each person. Now, that is a minimum. We actually ran out of water and we had 1 liter per person. So I would strongly recommend more if you can bring more, but at least 1 liter. Sturdy shoes or sandals with a strap. You want to avoid flip-flops. This is going to be a physical trip. We don't need anyone becoming the most recent sacrifice to the Mayan gods.
The beginning of a new era, the dawning of a new age, demands sacrifice.
You will want to bring some water shoes or some shoes of some sort that can get wet for the later part of the journey, but not for the ruins. Bring a swimsuit, bring a towel, bring a hat, a high-powered flashlight, which we'll explain shortly, and something to take pictures with. Obviously, your cell phone has a camera and it's probably just fine, but if you don't have a good camera on your cell phone, a really good camera would be helpful because you want to get all of this in. Because this is a long day trip, it's worthwhile to bring something to eat as breakfast or an early snack and bring a lunch of some sort. You're probably not going to get back until around dinner time, so 2 meals that you can eat while you're out on the road are definitely preferable here. In my case, I made peanut butter and huckleberry sandwiches. Also, since you're going to be going a long way from anywhere, it's really important to start your trip with a full tank of gas, and it might be worthwhile to at least check out your spare tire and that you have a jack and that the spare tire actually has air in it. You're much less likely to get a flat tire now because the road's been fixed, but you are a long way from anything and you will have no cell service where you're going. With all of your stuff packed, the road trip underway, the easy access on those fresh paved roads, welcome to the epicenter. At its peak in 650 AD, Caracol was a metropolitan beast. We're talking 150,000 people. To put that into perspective, that's more than live in the entire KO district today. The layout here is radial urbanism. Using LiDAR technology, we have discovered all kinds of pathways that show how Mayans engineered limestone highways that connect the royal center to market termini, 10 kilometers away. Now look up. This is Cana, the Sky Palace, at 141 feet. It is still the tallest structure in Belize. If you skipped leg day yesterday, you are in luck because we are still allowed to climb to the top of these ruins. And by the end of the day, you're gonna feel that burn. This isn't just a tourist site either. As recently as July 2025, archaeologists found the tomb, and I'm gonna butcher this, to Ajaw Te K'ab Chaak, okay? There's probably a proper way to say that, but I didn't do the tour. I just showed up and walked around, so I have no idea how to say that. So post in the comments, how do you say that guy's name? Ajaw Te K'ab Chaak, okay? Now he was found at the base of B19. There is still so much to discover here that it's a very special place still to this day. But here's the mystery. There are no rivers on this plateau. How did they feed 150,000 people? The answer is terraces. If you look into the jungle on the hike up, you'll actually see stone walls. The Maya turned the entire mountain into a massive self-watering system. Go ahead and take some time and check out the whole area. One thing that we found frightening and interesting was actually when we were on some of the pyramids, we could hear this sound off in the distance. And my wife actually commented, she said, it sounds almost like we're in Jurassic Park. Like that seriously sounds like dinosaurs fighting off in the jungle. And it was so frequent and so rhythmic that I actually thought, well, maybe they're playing speaker sounds of like jaguars or something over there to try to keep the wildlife away. Sort of like what you do, like to keep birds away, you have the thing that makes like pigeon sounds. So I thought it was like that. So, you know, as we got around and explored the area more, you can imagine my surprise. My wife's looking up in the tree to find the speaker that's playing these sounds, and she's like, there's something up there. And so we started looking, and sure enough, there's these howler monkeys freaking out at each other. And that's what the intro clip to this video started as, because I don't know, I'm just some white dude from Canada. What do I know about culture down here? we got a front row seat to a really interesting show. So howler monkeys are done, exploring's done, it's time to move on, right? Wrong. We're about to go to the underworld, but before we do, it's important to know that this is the last time you're going to see a bathroom for a little while. So it might be worthwhile to just swing by, make sure that you're all emptied out before you hit the road. Now that that's done, hop in your car. With the bathroom break over, it's time to hit the road. On the drive back, we stopped at Frio Cave. For the Maya, this was Chiquibul, the place of fear. A few things to note here. The road has gotten rough and it's been closed off. You used to be able to drive all the way to the picnic area and the cave was right there. You can't do that anymore. Now, there's about a 2-kilometer hike in and 2-kilometer back on that rough uneven road. It's not a bad walk, but there is some elevation change. Along the way, you're actually going to be spoiled with some preview caves. So there's some twin caves and there's also some other caves that you kind of have to go off the beaten path to get to. Some of them are easy to see right from the road. This is where that high-powered flashlight I told you to bring comes in handy. Your cell phone light is not going to work here. The flashlight we took has 7,000 lumens, and I probably can shine this in your, can I shine it? I can shine it in my eyes and it blinds me. So this is so bright that it actually is, can you guys see that? Oh yeah, you guys can see. It's like a ball of sun right in your hands. Now it is, you can focus it or zoom it back out. We used this at multiple caves. We were able to see exactly where we needed to go. They do make smaller ones that aren't quite as powerful as this, but this one was top notch for what we were trying to do. If you don't have one, I will put a link in the description to one like this and some of the smaller ones that would work if you didn't want to carry a giant flashlight with you. The Frio is actually a solution cave. The 65-foot archway acts like a natural air conditioner. The Maya came here for bloodletting. Now these were rituals to communicate with the gods. And here's a little secret. The Mayans actually used ancient ceramic pots 1,200 years ago to catch virgin water dripping from the stalactites that you can see still to this day coming down from the roof of the cave. Cave tour done, it's past noon now, and the heat of the day is really starting to get hot. So the final stop is a short drive away from the cave. Your reward? Rio on pools. This is where the geology flips from limestone to granite. There are natural infinity pools carved out by thousands of years of water erosion. Now the granite potholes are incredibly slippery, so if you're wearing the flip-flops that I told you not to bring, you will end up on a blooper reel. You can use this spot to reset your nervous system before the final trek back to San Ignacio. And as you can see, there are a lot of others here swimming around. The water is beautifully calm and cool, and it's very refreshing. I did stop for a dip and I really enjoyed it. If you are looking for a dip, a couple of really neat features here. This will be the first place that you will have seen bathrooms since we left the ruins. So that's a welcome relief. Plus, when you walk down towards the pools, there's actually some change rooms there. So if you weren't wearing your swimsuit already, I mean, I'm always wearing my swimsuit, so I'm always ready for a swim. But if you're not like me, there are change rooms there. You can easily change in privacy into your swimsuit, go have a swim, and then change back on your way out. Don't forget that towel that we had in our list of items to bring with you for this trip. With our journey pretty much over, it's time to head back to wherever it is you're staying. In our case, we stayed in San Antonio. It's a much smaller, way quieter town than something like San Ignacio, but wherever you're headed, it's been a long day and you're ready for an evening for some dinner. Caracol is the final boss of Belize. It's hot and it's rugged, but standing on top of the Cana, you realize we aren't the first civilization to master urban sprawl. If you're ready for the mission, make sure you've copied down the supplies list and post in the comments how your trip went. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. you'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.